Actually, you know what? To make this easier, so I don't have to like flip-flop over it, let's start from the top here and go all the way to the bottom, to Raiden. So let's start with Liu Kang. So Liu Kang on the tier list, I have him in S tier. Specifically number 3. And the reason is because he has very good zoning. I mean, look at this little fireball. It chips you. You can lame out so many people. It forces people to jump at you and approach you. This is one of the best projectiles in the game. And then you also have his high fireball, which is a lot better recovery. You can throw it out. And then he has one of the best instant air fireballs. I think if you do this instant enough, you're actually able to clip people too. Pretty sure you can. My Liu Kang is garbage, so I can't do it well, but... maybe you can't. No, you can. Okay, so you have to do it. You have to do it very perfectly though. Like the execution has to be on point to do that. But yeah, if you master that, like Liu Kang's zoning is just as good as Melina's in terms of being annoying and having to have people crouch to approach you. So Liu Kang has excellent zoning. Low fireball is an amazing tool for getting a lot of people to come to you. And then when you get near him, he has this annoying move, the flying kick. Not only is this a good punishing move, but if you guys don't know this, a little trick is up close, the hitbox does not hit your opponent. You have to have like a little bit of distance for it to make contact. So even if they're blocking, you'll whiff over them. So you can kind of use it to like side switch. This means because you have to chase Liu Kang to the corner usually, he can sometimes sneak away with doing this, and then you have to chase him all over again. So that helps his runaway game. Then he has his bike kick. Does more damage than the flying kick. On counter hit, you get follow up. You can even do repeated bike kicks if you can pull that off, and that's like an infinite. So you can do bike kick into bike kick, and it's like 100% combo, but it's really hard to do. But bike kick has the same thing as flying kick. Now, it's not going to whiff if they're up close and blocking standing, like the flying kick will. But if they're crouching, like if they're sitting there ducking like this, you can sometimes go over them. So Liu Kang, a really good character. The only bad thing about Liu Kang, because every character has like a strength and weakness, I'd say, are his jabs aren't too good. Because if your opponent's blocking, you see how they're whiffing? I'm pretty sure Liu Kang's jabs whiff on everybody, so his jab pressure is probably the worst in the game. But he doesn't need it, because his zoning is so good. And his runaway game is so good. And on top of that, his crouching low kick is ridiculous. This is the best crouching low kick in the game. Do you guys see the range on this? Sometimes when you get near him, it's very annoying to take your turn versus him because the range on this, and this is very abusable in some characters. So yeah, Liu Kang, I have him in S tier. Top 3, number 3, behind the other 2 S tier characters. Next character, let's talk about Kung Lao. We'll just go in order from Liu Kang to Raiden. So Kung Lao I have an A tier, which is the tier below S tier. And he's number 5 specifically, because I only have one other character in front of him in A tier, and there's only 2 characters I have in A tier. Now Kung Lao, amazing mobility, very good dive kick. He's a character that can literally from full screen jump projectiles sometimes and punish you. A lot of characters cannot do that. So because of this, he's threatening at more parts of the map than other characters are. So because you have to be more careful against him, he gets to be able to use his dive kick more in neutral to move around. He can get in positions to do a dive kick. He can sometimes get close and you misplace like a low fireball Liu Kang. He'll be close enough to block it and then he'll try to punish you with something. He's got a teleport, which isn't that great, but it's another option he can do. He's got an underrated projectile, which he can throw, and the cool thing is you're able to arc this upwards or downwards. So from far away, this is like a mid projectile attack. If you can get the chip on your opponent, get the life lead, and make them approach you. His spin is pretty good up close in keeping people away. it's got priority on it sometimes. So like if a Molina were to roll into you, you could launch them and then he gets a combo after it. So yeah, his Kung Lao in general is pretty solid. His jabs also aren't too bad. They're not as bad as Liu Kang where they don't work on everybody. But they honestly, his jabs probably are some of the worst in the game. I think they only work on, if I remember correctly, Liu Kang and Jax, and they whiff on a lot of characters, so Kung Lao's jabs aren't that great. But yeah, with Kung Lao's mobility, his options, his having a decent projectile, he's definitely a solid character. I have him in A tier. Now let's go to the next character, Johnny. So Johnny, unfortunately, is not a very good character in this game. I have him in C tier, bottom 4, or technically bottom 3. And the reason I have him in bottom 3 is his special moves just are not as good as other characters. Like, for example, this move. Yes, it's an anti-air, but it's kind of slow and not that good. Like, a lot of times they'll try to do it and you have to make a hard read to do this to anti-air them, and the damage you get off it isn't even that good. Like, you might as well just do a high kick or a roundhouse or an uppercut, and it's better reward. Honestly, his best special move is probably a shadow kick, which is quick. You can use it to whiff punish sweeps or punish certain attacks that are unsafe. Like if you block a Baraka Chop Chop or something like that, you can do this and quickly get some damage in. But it's a high though, so you can't abuse it too much, because if they duck it, they're gonna uppercut you or get a combo. The good thing about Johnny, even though he has like not the greatest special moves, like his projectiles are also kind of, they're alright, but they definitely have worse frame data compared to a lot of other projectiles. So specials aren't the greatest. And of course he has his nut punch, which is better in the corner, because if you hit them with this, it's like a restand and you can continue your pressure and going to his block jab infinite, which is probably the best thing about him. Like, let's say you're in the corner, right? Johnny Cage hits you with like a jump kick. Like something as simple as doing that, right, is a combo. They're dead now. You want to know why? Because now you go into the block infinite and they can't escape this. You can do this till they chip out. So that's the only good thing about the nut punch. The bad thing is this doesn't work on female characters. So if you're playing against Katana or Melina, you can't even use this move. It's useless. So this is matchup dependent. Now that we got all the weak stuff out of the way for Johnny, what's good about him is a lot of characters don't have a good close high kick move, but Johnny does. Now it's punishable on block, but it does have some pushback. But if you hit them with it, you get to do a shadow kick after. That's like a small combo. And in the corner, you could do an even bigger combo. I believe you could do like instant jump kick on some characters depending how they fall. But honestly, you could literally just do this, and then if the jab trap works, you just 100% them. So Johnny is scary in the corner because when he's jabbing you and you try to poke out, if he reads that, he could get close to you and then do his close high kick launcher, and then yeah, you're dead. So he's one of the better characters up close, and also he has a very good hitbox on his jabs. His jabs will hit I think almost every character in the game if they're crouch blocking. The only character I think he can't crouch jab is Shang Tsung, because Shang Tsung is a very short crouch blocking hurtbox, and Johnny himself. But aside from that, every character in the game you can jab pressure them and go for this risky mid. So yeah, Johnny's low tier, but it's not like he's unusable. Like if you make the right reads, you could definitely get some wins with him. You're just gonna have to work a little bit harder. Now we get to Reptile, and I have Reptile as the worst character in this game. Kind of similar with Johnny, except the difference is Johnny has better normals than Reptile. The only good normal Reptile has is literally his roundhouse and his high kick. His jabs aren't too good. They whiff on like half the characters in the game, so his jab pressure isn't that good. Liu Kang, his jabs work on, but if you're playing like against other male ninjas like Scorpion or Sub-Zero, These are going to go over their head, so your pressure's a lot worse. His close high kick is horrendous. Johnny's is a lot better because Johnny's launches gives you a follow-up. In the corner, it gives you like a combo into the death trap, the jab trap. Reptiles, do you see how terrible this is? It's death on block. And then when you hit your opponent with it, it's death on hit. Like it's minus on hit, so they can punish you on hit or block. It's just useless. So I would never use this. I would just do jabs into sweep. Now in terms of specials, you have his acid spit, which is a decent projectile. It's got pretty lengthy startup, but good recovery. The downside is, if you look at Liu Kang's HP, look at how much damage it does on hit. Do you see that? It's one of the weakest projectiles. So it doesn't do a lot of damage. So when you're trading with people in projectile wars and they hit you, they're going to be having a life lead, which means you have to go to them now. And it's hard for Reptile to make a comeback. This other move is Force Ball. It has long startup and it's very easy to avoid because the hitbox on it is not very good. So if your opponent like jumps, they can literally jump to avoid it. They could do a crouching poke to go under it. It's just not a very good move. And then his last special move, I'm sorry, let's talk about his slide real quick. His slide is a decent punisher, but again, it doesn't do that much damage and it's unsafe. So it's like almost like a worse version of Johnny's Shadow Kick because it doesn't hit hard. But yeah, like, do you see how much Reptile's damage does on his specials? Acid Spit does so little. Slide does so little. This character has to hit you like 10 times with these moves to kill you. The best thing about him is him going invisible, this move. Because once you're invisible, your opponent has no idea what you're doing, so they have to guess. Like, are you going to be jumping? Or are you waiting there for me to do something unsafe to punish? Are you walking up? Like, you can't see if I'm walking at you. Are you doing a sweep? Are you doing a random slide? Like, sometimes it's hard to react to what exactly Reptile's doing. So even though Reptile's the worst in the game, he's not entirely useless. If you go invisible and you play mind games with that, you can actually get rounds off people, even if they're playing a top tier, if you play right with them. You're just gonna have to be working a lot harder than them to get that win. But yeah, Reptile I have D tier as the worst character. Not to say he's completely useless and you can't win with him, it's just harder to win with him than other characters. Now let's go on to Sub-Zero. So Sub-Zero, another character I have low tier. I have him bottom 4. I honestly don't know who's better between him and Johnny. I have them both in C tier. But I don't know. I mean, you could kind of debate Johnny's maybe better than Sub-Zero because Johnny has better up close game, better jabs than Sub-Zero. And one thing that's bad about Sub-Zero is he has no way to chip you. So if your opponent's blocking, like if you're in like a full screen war with your opponent, you're blocking their projectile, they're blocking your projectile, you're doing no chip while they're doing chip. So with Sub-Zero, when you have to make a comeback, you have to approach your opponent. You have no way to get the life lead from far. He is very good at trading though. One thing that's good about him is if you trade your opponent, you can get a combo. So for example, if I hit Shang with this, I could do a deep jump kick into Ice Puddle and then uppercut. And that's like 40%. So his damage is good on trades. It's just hard to get that trade on someone that's playing careful against you in the matchup. They're going to make you work for your damage. Aside from that, he has the same drawbacks as Reptile. He doesn't have the best normals, but his high kick and roundhouse are good anti-airs. His jabs, though, are not that good because, again, on half of the cast, you can't jab them, so it's harder for you to make a comeback because your pressure is so much worse. You just have sweep, basically, and crouching low kick. And his slide is just as bad as Reptile. I don't think there's a difference between them. Yeah, they do the same damage, and I believe they have the same frame data. So Sub-Zero, even though he has better specials than Reptile, with his Ice Freeze on trade and his Ice Puddle, which can catch people if they're not ready for it, his tools just aren't as good as some of the other characters, which is why I have him bottom 4. And his offense isn't as good as Johnny's. Honestly, I think the best thing Sub-Zero has in this game is, let's say you're in the corner and you catch someone with a freeze. Technically they lose here because you walk up and then you 100% them with the block jab trap. But Johnny also has this in the corner, and it's kind of easier for Johnny to set up because all he has to do is hit you with his close high kick in the corner if you try to avoid his jabs to launch you, and then he'll not punch you and go into it if you're not, you know, Katana or Melina. So this is probably Sub-Zero's best tool, is hoping to get you frozen in the corner and then going into jab infinite. But yeah, Sub-Zero, not a great character in this. Again, you can win with him, it's just gonna be harder to beat people playing better characters than you. Now on to Shang. And Shang is interesting because he only has like one special move basically, if you don't count the morphs. His fireball. And he has 3 different versions. He has the double one and the triple one, and basically just mix these up. He's kind of bad at converting off combos. Like if you get a jump kick on somebody, I don't think there's a like, you don't really get a combo off of it. Like some characters could do like jump kick, like Sub-Zero will do jump kick ice puddle, Melina will do jump kick roll, Jax will do jump kick ground pound. Shang, while he has one of the better jump kicks in the game, this is actually annoying anti-air at some ranges. He has no follow-up. Even if you try to do a sweep, they could just block. So that's one of his downsides. He doesn't have a way to convert off damage off a jump kick. His fireball is solid. You can play some mind games with that. The cool thing is you're able to morph into people, which is probably the best thing about him. You could, like, let's say you're playing a matchup. Let's say you're playing against Raiden, right? And you're like, I want to be Jax now. You can morph into Jax, and then for the like 10 seconds you're morphed, you can try to annoy Raiden with ground pounds, and then when you morph back, you can go into a different character. So you can keep your opponent guessing and keep having them have to adapt with whatever character you decide to morph into. The downside is when you morph into somebody and you're morphing back, you have to go through the morph back frames, which is bad because when you're morphing back, Shang can't move. So characters are going to be getting in your face and trying to jab you or hit you, and it can be annoying. So sometimes with Shang, you don't want to be morphing all the time. You want to be patient and only morph it if it's really going to get you like the win on the round or be worth it. Because if you're just morphing just to morph and it's not doing much for you, and then your opponent's next to you and you have to morph back, they're going to abuse the hell out of that in you, and that's going to be hard for Shang. But really, where I play Shang is I place him like mid-tier. He's like middle of the pack. I have him in B tier. So under the tier where I placed Kung Lao, but he's above the tier where I have Sub-Zero and Johnny placed. So he's actually a good character. And aside from him having an annoying jump kick, he has really good jabs. Probably, you know what? I think Shang has the best rushdown in the game with jabbing only, because when you jab with him, I don't think any character can crouch this. So if you guys are able to notice on screen, you see how Shang is a lot shorter than Jax? Because Shang is shorter than Jax and you're jabbing, that means his jabs are shorter. They're closer to the ground. So because of that, this is a huge advantage, because any character you play against, like it doesn't matter if it's Melina, Katana, Scorpion, Baraka, Liu Kang, any character, right? You get next to them and you start jabbing like this, your jabs won't whiff on them because Shang is so short, so he has the best hitboxes on his jab. This means against every character, you can apply your jab pressure. So Shang, very good up close game on every character. He doesn't have to worry about jabs whiffing and then having no offense. Now, another thing that he's very good at is because he's so short, when he ducks and crouch blocks, you see how he's much shorter than Jax when they're crouch blocking? This helps Shang a lot, because now a lot of characters are not going to be able to jab Shang back. Like some of their jabs are going to be whiffing. So Shang, when you're up close with him and you have to like pressure him to get the life lead back, if you can't jab pressure him well, it's going to be harder for you to make that comeback and get the damage with chip, whereas he can pressure you. So that's one of the upsides about Shang. He's got a very good hurt box, small size, great hitbox on jabs, works on every character. And yeah, I'd say he's mid-tier. Now for the character after Shang, Katana. One of my favorite characters in this game. I think Katana's super fun to play. And the neat thing about Katana is this game isn't a big combo heavy game. However, Katana is the exception. She is a combo character in a game that's not a big combo game, and she gets combos off a lot of interactions. For example, remember how I told you guys before when I was going through Shang and Shang didn't get a combo off his jump kick or a follow-up because he just does jump kick and that's it? Well, Katana is different. When Katana hits you with a jump kick, it's very scary because of her air fan special. So what she could do is if she hits you with this, she could do an air fan. You see the damage already? It's like 30%. And then the follow-up after that is you do this. You just do an instant jump kick after that. And if you time it properly, you get a combo. You see how much damage that is? That's over 50% for something as simple as doing a jump kick into a air projectile. So Katana hits like a truck in this game. Speaking of her fan, she also has instant air fan, which you can do in a lot of the 2D MKs, even in MK3. This is her best ability. Being able to instant air fan out of nowhere, it makes her neutral a lot better. The cool thing is in this game, whenever your opponent gets hit by a fan, it causes a knockdown. They nerfed this in UMK3. In UMK3, the fan leaves you standing. In this game, it causes the opponent to go airborne and get knocked down. So if you hit them close enough with this, you're able to get a jump kick follow-up. Let me see if I could show you guys this. It's a little hard to do. But yeah, so that's a combo. That's like 30% right there. So whenever you see that happen, you can capitalize with Katana and get a combo. And in the corner too, like, you could actually get a fan lift if you're quick enough. I believe you can. But if not, you could just do jump kick. Now onto the Katana's next move. Her fan lift. This is one of the best anti-airs in the game. If Katana's sitting there and she's reading that you're gonna jump at her, she's gonna anti-air you with this. This is why it's very scary to jump at her. Because you see Kung Lao jump, I do this, well guess what? Now you're gonna lose basically 50%. She'll do jump kick fan into square wave and look at the damage you take. I think that's a little bit more than 50%. So yeah, Katana, you try to cross her up, jump at her, whatever, she reads it, your health bar is getting deleted. And in the corner, if you try jumping at Katana out of the corner, that's suicide. Because she has 100% combos in the corner. So let me see if I remember the combo here. I believe you have to do two. It's been so long since I've been in tune with MK2, but I believe in the corner you can do 2 square waves. I forgot exactly what the combo is. I'm trying to remember it. Something like deep jump punch, jump kick. This isn't a combo. That's like an easy version, but that does like 75%. But there's a way for you to get. I think you have to do the air fan late into it. So maybe it's jump punch, late fan, something like that. I forgot. I'm sure some of you guys you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Katana, I'm not making it up. Katana gets like 80% to 100% death combos in the corner. I have her in A tier, which is the tier under S tier, where I had Liu Kang placed. I have Katana A tier, and I have her right in front of Kung Lao. The only characters I have in A tier are first Katana, and then Kung Lao. So that would make her number 4 on the tier list. She's extremely strong. She's got 3 good special moves. Like even in here, her square wave, you're able to throw a fan after that. A little fun fact, they nerfed the hell out of Katana in UMK3. They nerfed her fan. They nerfed her square wave. Like, you can't do a fan toss anymore now when the square wave hits you. They got rid of that. They nerfed her fan lift. They gave it so much damage scaling. They made it slower, so it's not a good anti-air anymore. They kind of butchered a lot of Katana's specials in UMK3 because of how good they were in this game. So Katana's got 3 good specials in here. Her fan lift is an insanely good anti-air. It leads to monstrous damage. Air fan, one of the best specials. She's a good jumping character because, again, the threat of her jumping at you and doing this, leading to so much damage, is scary. And she could sometimes, if you're waiting to anti-air her, she could do a fan lift. I mean, she could do a fan toss and then bait out like an anti-air, so she could play mind games in the air. Now let's talk about her normals. So she shares Melina's normals. Melina's got good jabs. This also applies to Katana, obviously, because they share normals. So Katana's able to pretty much jab most characters in the game. Not as good as Shang, but she can pretty much jab, I want to say, basically every character in the game she's going to be able to do her jab pressure on, except for possibly Shang. So aside from one character in that matchup, she has good offense on a lot of characters. And then she has her fan swipe move, this attack, which is unique to her. This is plus on block. So after, you can either do a sweep or you can go into a jab because of how quick it recovers. The one thing you need to notice is look at Kung Lao's life bar when I do the fan toss on block. You see the chip on that? It does a lot of chips. So whenever you can sneak these in, and this move works on like half of the characters in the game. Some characters it'll whiff on because they're too short, like Johnny and Shang. But the characters it works on, you can sneak this in while doing jab pressure, and it does a lot of chip. And in the corner, it's scary because if this hits you, because Katana's so plus off of it, if you get hit by this in the corner, so she'll transition into her block jab infinite in the corner. So her fan swipe is a good move. Her having some of the better jabs, again, she can even hit you with her close high punch because of how plus that is. If this hits you in the corner, well, guess what? Now you're stuck in the block jab infinite, and she wins the round. Her close high kick, unfortunately, is bad. This is kind of like the male ninjas where you never want to use that. If you use this, it's a minus on hit, minus on... It's just horrendous. It doesn't even knock down. So never use that. Just use your sweep if you're looking for a move to hit them when you're plus. Because sweeps are great in this game. So Katana had placed in A tier. Extremely good character, number 4 in the tier list. One of my favorite characters playing MK2. And all around a great character. A good comeback character. If you like combos, you want to play Katana. Next we have Jax. And this is probably the best Jax has ever been, aside from MK3. Because his toolkit is so amazing in this game. First of all, he fits the meta so well. I mean, he's got the ground pound, which is one of the best specials in the game. This will make every character have to approach you, basically. If they don't have a way to avoid this, everyone has to come to you and play Jax's game. He has a great anti-air with high kick, really good hitbox. He has a decent projectile. He has a really good air throw, which is one frame. He could jump in there and air throw you. He could punish some moves by doing jump kick air throw, which does, look how much damage that does. That's like 35%. You can kind of machine gun ground pound back to back if you time it properly. See if I can get it here. Yeah, stuff like that. So things like that. Now that's not guaranteed. It's not like a true combo. Your opponent can jump between that. But the fact that whenever they get hit by ground pound, they have to immediately think, oh shit, is he gonna do another ground pound or do I have to jump here? And then that's when Jax starts playing mind games. When you jump at him, he has a good anti-air with his high kick. So Jax is a character you could play him very simple and play very lame and zone people out. He's unique in how he zones, because other characters in this game, they don't have a ground pound like this. This is like Jax's unique style. Like the other zoners in this game, they're not zoning with a move like that. Another cool thing is he can punish some stuff with his gotcha grab, and this does decent damage too. It's like 20, that's like over 20% just for getting hit by this. And then he also has the most damage off his throw. When you throw somebody, he can do his multi-slam. So if you happen to get thrown by Jax, you're looking at taking like almost 30% just for getting thrown. So it's very easy for Jax to sometimes catch you with like a throw or a ground pound or anti-air, and then all of a sudden have the life lead. Now the only downside about Jax is his jabs aren't some of the best. Like they do it from some characters because of how tall he is. And because he's like a big sized character, sometimes it can be awkward for him to evade some stuff. Even when he crouch blocks, he has a high crouch block. What is surprising, he has a small ducking hurt box, but a very big crouching hurt box. A crouch blocking hurt box. I think even Raiden, if he does Superman, Jax is so small when he crouches that the Superman will whiff over his head, and it's like one of the few characters that applies to Raiden. But yeah, Jax, extremely strong. Considered by many to be number 2. I have him S tier, number 2, right in front of Liu Kang. And there's even a couple of people that think if Jax is mastered and played properly, he can be seen sometimes as 1 in some people's eyes. But I have him as number 2. One of the best characters. Now on to Melina. And I'm sure a lot of you are not going to be surprised by this, because Melina being one of the most popular characters in MK2, whether it's like low-level casual play or high-level matches, people love playing Melina in this game. And it's not only because she's a cool and interesting character, but it's also because she's top tier as hell. I have her S tier as the best character in the game. She doesn't lose to anybody. She can adapt and play in any matchup. You can zone with her. You can be aggressive with her. She shares the same normals as Katana, aside from the fan swipe. So she has excellent jabs. She has a good sweep. she makes people scared to move against her and let go block, because if you're like, oh, Melina's coming in, I'm gonna jab her back or try to move, well, again, she has one of the best special moves, her roll attack. Extremely fast special, launches you on hit. This move's gonna make you want to block. So when this hits you, she could do something like that. Look at that. You get hit by that, you're losing like over 30. So Melina, when she hits you, she's a character where you don't want to give her damage like that. So what you're going to be doing against her is you're going to be doing this a lot. You're going to be blocking because her roll is that good. And because you're playing safe and blocking against her, she's going to be able to rush you down and pressure you. I think she's the best rush down character in the game because of her toolkit. Her normals, her having access to this roll move to get you to want to block, it's so easy for her to just chip you and get the life lead and just bully you to death and make you want to move or do stuff so she could use her roll. In terms of her other specials, like I mentioned earlier, her Psy is one of the best projectiles in the game. Does good damage. They're both fast on the ground and air. You have to charge it for a second and a half. They can be abused in the air like crazy. You can almost be in there 24/7 with her. You could do jump-ins, go into Psy. You could do jump back checks into air sides on the way down to cover yourself. You can mix your approach. You can chip people out of them trying to jab you back. This is probably the best projectile in the entire game. It's extremely good. And then, like, just like Katana, now Melina doesn't have the damage that the other character has. However, she can do things like convert into like a jump kick roll and they get a combo that way. So not only is roll a good punisher, but if you're getting a hit, you can go into combos with it. Even like if you're in the corner, you're like, okay, and Melina threatens you with a jump in if she hits you. I mean, look at that damage. That's me dropping the combo, but that's over 50%. Then to cover her last move, she has her teleport, obviously. This is probably her worst special move overall, because it's minus on hit, your opponent recovers first. And it's really only used on a hard read on occasional jump-ins. Like, let's say you're reading a Baraka jump-in or whatever, and you just want to do this, you can do that. And you can also use it as a hard read to counter projectiles. But for the most part, you got to be careful with this move because they block it, they're going to punish you. But it's a solid move. I mean, it's a teleport in a game where there's not many teleports. It's another reason why your opponent's going to want to be careful to throw things at you. This just gives Melina more freedom in neutral to just zone or approach you and bully you. So yeah, Melina, best character in the game. She doesn't lose to anybody. She can adapt to any kind of playstyle. She could play lame. She could rush you down. She's extremely aggressive. She has the best punisher. She converts off a lot of hits and punishes with roll. So I have her ranked number 1. Now we're getting to Baraka. And unfortunately for Baraka, he's like the complete opposite of Melina. Not the greatest character. Actually, I have him bottom tier. I have him all the way down in D tier. The only other D tier character I have is Reptile. But I think Baraka is not as bad as Reptile, because the thing with Baraka is even though his special moves aren't that great, like, he's got a decent projectile. It's not amazing, it's okay. His Chop Chop is kind of a risky move to use. You really only want to use this as like an anti-air or like a way to, like, if you're able to use it as a punish, you get some chunky damage off of it. You can see it does a lot of damage. It does like almost 20%. So it hits hard, and then on a lot of characters you can do that, and then you could probably go for like a jump in after, depending on the character. But yeah, and in the corner it can be kind of tricky for some characters to punish. Like, I know Katana, if you block this in the corner as her, because of the pushback on this, she can't really punish it because she doesn't have like a fast advancing special. So you're able to abuse this on some characters. If they don't have like a fast punisher, you can get away with doing this on block. And if you notice Johnny's health bar, do you see the chip on this? It does good chip damage. So it's a good way to close out a round. But yeah, for the most part, you're gonna want to be using it as like an anti-air. If someone jumps at you, chop them and take a good amount. But yeah, aside from that, he only has 2 special moves. Just these 2. And then his other move is this Blade Swipe. This is basically a worse version of Katana's Fan Swipe. it hits nobody crouch blocking because it's so high, so you can't use it in pressure. However, if they're stand jabbing like this, you can use it to chip them. It'll chip them. It does good chip on block, and it's also plus on block. So even though it's not as good and useful as his other moves, you can use it for that situation. It's a little rare to use it. It's a little harder to use. And yeah, we gotta get into Baraka's jump-ins now. He has some of the best jump-ins. His jump punch and his jump kick are very tricky to anti-air for some characters. You have to have specific anti-airs. You have to be spacing yourself a little bit better than other characters. Otherwise, his jump-in will hit you. So Baraka a lot of times will be jumping at you, and it's easier for him to either get a hit or get next to you for you to block a jump-in. Now, the thing about his jump-ins is he has a similar downside to that of Shang. Remember earlier when I said Shang, when he gets a jump-in, he doesn't have a way to follow it up? Same issue here with Baraka. Baraka doesn't have a way to get a combo off his jump-in. So if he hits you with a jump-in, he can't really do anything after it as a follow-up. Like, even his projectile's too slow to follow up. And obviously his chop's not going to reach. The only time his jump is scary is in the corner. Because if you hit them with this, you can go into chop, and you know you'll get good damage off that. But yeah, even though he probably has the best jump-ins in the game, he just doesn't have a follow-up off of them, but they're good. And now the last thing about Baraka, actually two more things. His jabs are solid. I'm trying to think. I think his jabs work on everybody except for Johnny, which you guys can see. Johnny is one of the smallest crouch blocking characters. I think his jabs work on everybody except for Johnny and possibly Shang. Aside from those two characters, he has good jab hitboxes. Like, they'll work on everybody. Female ninjas, Raiden, Jax, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, male ninjas. So he's got good jabs. Now on to something else that Baraka has that's good, is his close high kick. A lot of characters have a bad close high kick move, but not Baraka. Baraka's close high kick, this is actually good because you can stagger it like this. It's got a good it's slightly minus on block, it's plus on hit, and your opponent's gonna have to basically let go of block quickly to challenge you after this. The thing is, you can go into his immediate second hit to catch them. And even though this whiffs on certain characters like Johnny, on the characters this works on, again, it's very good on block, it's slightly minus. And it does good chip damage because it's basically you blocking two normals. And if this hits, you could do like an instant jump kick. I know this combos. Yeah, so you could do something like that. That's like 30%. So this is probably Baraka's best thing. So while you're jab pressuring, it's scary to move from Baraka because he could do his close knee. And then depending on the character you're on, if the hitbox hits you, you can get like a little combo after that. So Baraka, even though again he's bottom 2, not to say he's entirely bad, he does have some tools that are serviceable. He's weaker than other characters in my opinion, so you gotta work a little bit harder with him. But I do think he's better than Reptile. I actually find Baraka fun to play. I play him occasionally. Now on to Scorpion, who's the third male ninja character. Now Scorpion, I think he's better than the other male ninjas. I think he's better than Sub-Zero. I think he's better than Reptile. Now obviously they all share the same issue, right? They have okay normals. Like, the jabs aren't the best. These are gonna whiff on half of the characters in the game, but the characters that they can jab pressure is good, like Kung Lao being one of them. He's got a teleport which you can use for mobility, so he can move around quickly, do it in the air. He can be annoying to catch sometimes. The only downside with the teleport is that if you get near the wall, near the corner, he can't teleport out. It's not like MK3. So when you get Scorpion near the corner, you have to be careful with your spacing. You want to make sure your positioning with Scorpion is good, and you're mindful. When you're approaching the corner, you kind of want to hold your ground mid-screen and keep the fight here, like in this space, so that way you're always able to teleport and they don't take that option away from you. Because if they put you in the corner, Scorpion's options get reduced a lot, which makes it harder for you to win with him. Now in terms of his other moves, this move sucks. You don't want to be using this move. If you hit your opponent with this, they basically recover before you and they can like hit you before you move, so it's awful. However, The only situation I could see you using this move is if, let's say, they have 1% life left. You can use it to chip them. That's about it. Because this move, for some reason, it's slightly better on block than it is on hit. I know that doesn't make any sense why this is more unsafe on hit, but that's just how it is. So this is a move that's just, it's generally not good. But if you do want to use it, you could use it when they have 1% life left to catch them off guard, and you could chip them. His other move being his spear. This is a decent projectile. It's hard to hit people with it from far because they're gonna usually be kind of careful against Scorpion because they're already worried about your teleport. Because since they're not throwing projectiles a lot on you because they don't want to get hit by this, they're going to be playing more of like a safe game against you, so it's going to be harder to hit them with this. But if you do happen to hit people with your spear, the cool thing is if you're close to them with spear and you hit them with it, you usually get that as a combo uppercut. But a little trick is the further you are away from them, if you do Scorpion Spear, you can get another spear. See how that? And that's actually a combo, so you can get 2 spears depending how far they are. So that's very good to keep in mind. And again, because spear is a combo starter, if he anti-airs you, you can go into that and get a combo. So Scorpion's damage is good off punishes. Like when he's anti-airing you, or when he's landing a jump kick, like he could do stuff like this. You're able to combine like 2 special moves here. Jump kick, teleport, spear. And then you could actually do another spear. Let me see if I could show you guys. Yeah, but I did it too late. But basically, if you pull that off, you're looking at... That's like almost 60. I know you're able to do that. It's just a little hard. Doing the double spear, it's harder depending how far your opponent is from you. So the further they are away from you when you hit them, the easier it is to do the double spear. The closer they are, you're not going to be able to do... Like, if let's say I hit my opponent up close, right, with a spear, I don't have time to do another one. So when you go for that off the jump kick, it's pretty tight. Like, you got the frames are pretty tight on that because it's depending how far you hit them with it. But if you time it, you can get it. It's just very hard to do. So Scorpion hits like a truck off his jump kick. Spear is good for converting off like anti-airs and stuff like that. And another move Scorpion has is his air throw. This is a very underrated move because it's a 1-frame air throw, and it's tricky to jump at Scorpion at certain ranges because when you jump at him, he'll just jump in the air and air throw you. Also, if you're trying to cross him up, he'll jump up and grab you, so he's hard to cross up too. So Scorpion, even though he's not top tier, he's pretty underrated. I have him ranked in B tier. I have him under Shang Tsung. So I have him placed B, which is under the tier of A, where I had Katana and Kung Lao ranked, and above the C tier, where I had Sub-Zero and Johnny ranked. So I have Scorpion in like the middle of the pack. He's like around Shang Tsung's tier. He's not one of the best characters, but I don't think he's one of the worst. I think he's pretty solid. Now onto the last character in the game, and then this is where the tier list is complete. Now we get to Lord Raiden. Now Raiden, I have him same tier as Scorpion. I have him in B tier. And B tier is Raiden, Shang Tsung, and Scorpion. So I have Raiden ahead of Shang Tsung and Scorpion. I think Raiden's a little bit better than Shang, but not by much. I think they're around the same level. The cool thing about Raiden, it's kind of similar with Scorpion, where he also has a teleport. So you have good movement with him. You have mobility. You can anti-zone. And you don't have to worry about, you know, if you're in the corner, your teleport won't work like Scorpion. You have more freedom with Raiden to use it like that. The only thing is you can't do it in the air like Scorpion. But his teleport is solid. You just got to be careful how you use it. You don't want to obviously be spamming it like this because they could read it and then punish you. But for the most part, having an option to teleport behind your opponent is better than not having it. So it's definitely a good move to have. Now, this isn't what makes Raiden good. What makes Raiden good, and why I have him placed as in B tier, and I have him ranked number 6, is because of 2 moves. One, his Shocker, and his Superman. Superman is kind of an annoying move. You do it on your opponent. It's got very good wall carry, so whenever Raiden's hitting you with this, you're going to the corner, and he's gonna have you there, which is better for him. You could also do it in the air. So again, if Raiden hits you with a jump kick, guess what? He's converting into Superman, which means now he's going to be getting extra damage, and he's going to be getting you closer to the corner. and he's getting good damage off that. So decent Punisher too. You can punish some moves with Superman. This move can be kind of annoying sometimes for your opponent to punish, because when they block it, you see the pushback on this? They have to do specific punishes. And sometimes, depending how random the Raiden is, like let's say you're up close with him and then you're not ready for Superman, out of nowhere he could do Superman, and occasionally your opponent may miss the punish because of that. Because you may be too late to do a jump kick punish or a special move punish or projectile punish. So you can sometimes get away with that. So with Raiden, you have to keep your opponent guessing. You don't want to be too obvious with what you're doing with him. But yeah, Raiden is good for getting your opponent to want to block sometimes. Now we get into a shocker. This move is very interesting. So this move is an extremely fast combo starter. It won't hit your opponent if they're airborne. It'll always whiff, right? They have to be grounded for it to hit. And if they're blocking, it won't hit either. So you have to be next to them, like touching them, and they have to be not blocking and on the ground for this to work. But when this hits your opponent, what you can do is you basically get a full combo after it. You could do that. You see that combo I just did? I did double high punch into Superman, and that did basically 60% into like corner carry. So whenever Raiden gets close to you, because he has a shocker move and it comes out so quickly, while he's pressuring you at any time, his mid is so scary. He could at any time do a shocker move, and if you let go of block at the time, you're getting hit by this. You're eating a fat full combo into corner carry, and it just takes Raiden 2 shockers to kill you. So when Raiden's in your face, it's scary. Because again, if he can pressure you with his jabs, you have to play the mind game. Is he at any time? Do you want to take the risk to let go of block, to poke out of his pressure, but then get hit by the shocker? So Raiden has that going for him, which is, I think is very fun. And then lastly, of course, he has his projectile, but I think his projectile is okay. It's not one of the better projectiles, but it is decent. You can use it in some matchups, and if they block it, it is a little bit safer than some projectiles. But yeah, Raiden's a fun character. He's another character I like playing in this game. He's more of an up-close character. He has the ability to anti-zone. You can play foots with him. You can play safe. You can kind of be patient with him, and when you're in on your opponent, it's scary for your opponent to want to move, because again, at any time, they're not going to know when you're going to let the shocker rip. So that's going to get them to block a lot. So the characters he's able to jab and pressure like this, I think that's where Raiden excels. So yeah, this is the tier list I have basically for MK2. To go in order, I guess because some of you came here late, but to go in order from the best to worst. Number 1 tier list, I have Melina. Number 2, Jax. Number 3, Liu Kang. This is the S tier. These 3 are top 3. Then for A tier, the tier under them, I have Katana. Then Kung Lao. These are the only 2 A tier characters. So that's the top 5. Then after Kung Lao, the tier below is B tier. I have Raiden, Shang Tsung, and then Scorpion for B tier. And then under them, the next tier would be C tier, and I have Sub-Zero and Johnny. And I'm not sold on Sub-Zero being better than Johnny. I think maybe you could argue Johnny's better than Sub-Zero. They're pretty close in terms of level, but I don't know. I think maybe in the future I could see myself thinking Johnny's probably better than Sub-Zero because of the corner block trap off nut punch. But then we get to D tier, bottom tier, and it's Baraka and Reptile, 2 worst characters. Now again, just because they're bottom tier, I'm not saying you can't win with them or it's impossible or they lose like 10-0 to Melina and Jax. I've seen people before get wins with Reptile on like a Jax or a Melina. It's just that you have to work a lot harder. But yeah, Baraka, 2nd worst character in the game in D tier, Reptile the worst. Again, I'm not saying it's impossible to win with them. Even though they're bottom tier, Reptile has a good move. Invisibility is a good move. It's just pretty much his best move. And then Baraka has some cool stuff too, like his close double hitting mid string. That's a good string. His jabs are good. Chop Chop is good on characters that can't punish it in the corner for chipping. But yeah, so MK2, I mean, it's kind of underrated. I never really played MK2 that much. I've always been more of a UMK3 and Trilogy guy. But since Legacy came out, I've been playing a lot of MK2, and it's actually fun. I think the MK2 is very underrated as a game. And now I can see why it's pretty popular. Like, a lot of people are playing it that I've seen. And it's because the game is fun. Characters have like unique playstyles. Like you want rushdown characters, you could play Raiden, Katana, you know, Melina. You want like the turtley, keep away characters with zoning. You have Jax, you have Liu Kang. You want characters with mobility. I mean, you have Kung Lao. And then you have other characters like Shang could morph, Reptile's invisibility, Scorpion has teleports, Sub-Zero has, you know, his game. So overall, MK2, very underrated game. Surprisingly, I've been having a lot more fun with it than I thought I ever would. And I don't know, maybe we'll see. Maybe MK2, this is like the revival of MK2. Maybe people are starting to realize how good it is.